Hey guys, section of violence here. What a car we have coming up. I'm gonna get right into it for you guys. So we have to start the car. We have Zabara Tukhugov versus Elvis Brenner. Now I've watched some tape on Mr. Brenner. He fights out of shoot a box. So typically they have a nice tall high guard, nice tall stance, Muay Thai stance. Um, and he does have decent striking. He's all right. Um, But the thing about Elvis is when it comes to the high level, he has not fought anyone high level, and he isn't very good. But if I am wrong, this is the fight to prove it. I do think Zabara wins here. I've never seen him finish anyone, so I'm gonna go with decision. But I'm not like he could finish the guy, considering this is his guy first ever fight in the UFC, never really fighting anyone at the highest level. I do think maybe he could get the finish as well. I'm not saying he can't. I just, I wouldn't rely on it in the distance prop. Now, the thing about this is with this fight, there's not a lot of options. Um, this is a fight I am not gonna have a lot of stake in, and I'm gonna have to have Zabaya money line. Probably, I'm gonna go with. Yeah, there's not really a lot I like in this spot. I'm gonna go with because this is a clear win for Tukhugov. I just don't know how he's gonna win. Um, but yeah, we'll see how he does. Um, I'm definitely excited for this card. It has a lot of fights I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, let's get started with the next one. Blake Bilder versus Shane Young. Shane Young, he's serviceable. He's very well-rounded. The thing about Shane Young though is he's not very good anywhere. And if I'd say his best attribute is his striking, and unless this fight drags into the later rounds, I don't give him much of a shot here. But he has faced the harder competition. Um, it really depends though on how this fight goes. If this, I could see Blake Bilder getting Shane out of there early. I could also see Shane winning a decision. I could also see Blake Bilder winning a decision. It really depends because Blake Bilder is a good wrestler or a decent wrestler. Um, I do think he is undefeated for a reason. I know he's faced not the greatest guys, but that Alex Morgan win was really good. Not that Alex Morgan's a world beater, but that it was just a clean win. He beat Alex Morgan in a really impressive fashion. I do think he is very good, and I do think the only thing about him is he pulls guard sometimes, and that's not good against a guy like Shane Young, who I feel like he could be the more, not better wrestler, but he could be a problem for scrambles and a problem as the fight goes longer. Um, do I see Shane winning the decision? Yes. Do I see it happening? I don't know. This is a weird fight for me. I honestly have a lot of weird feelings about this fight. I'm gonna go with Blake Bilder here just because I can't get behind Shane Young. Maybe he proves me wrong and makes me, start having faith in him again, but I just don't know. I like Blake Bilder here. I like Blake, and I'm gonna ride with my gut here. I like Blake Bilder. I don't know about first round. Maybe by decision, but again, this is a hard fight, man. I this is one of the closest fights in the card for me. Um, just because Blake Bilder hasn't proven anything against. I mean, Alex Morgan's good, but Shane Young's probably the next test for you. So I do expect him to pass it, whether by decision or first round. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting fight. Definitely not going to have a lot of stake in these early fights. Moving on. Speaking of early fights, I do have stake in this one. Lookboonmee, we have 20 units on. I know. It is a bit stupid. I do agree. with Elise Reed only having 2 losses. The thing about Elise Reed is she's very, very good at boxing, and she has a problem when she's on her back. She's good at keeping that karate stance, like the not stance, but like keeping that distance that she needs to, pop, and then exit. She does really well doing that. But the thing about Elise Reed that really, I can't get behind is her wrestling. She lacks wrestling. Her cardio isn't the greatest. Especially when it's not a fight that she's doing well in. And I do think she doesn't kick well. Loma Lookboonmee is maybe not as good in boxing. Maybe. I do think Loma's very good in boxing. I think Loma's very good everywhere. The thing about Loma that she struggles with is really powerful girls. And yes, I do think she packs power in her punches, but that's it. And I do think Loma's clinch game can really nullify that. I do think Loma's leg kicks can nullify that. I do think her she does really good body lock takedowns. I do think she can mix it up really well. Compared to I just love Loma in this spot. Whether she finishes her, I don't know, but I do think she's winning this fight. Um, would I be surprised if Elise pulls out a decision? Yes, but it is what it is. MMA is MMA, especially women's MMA. I love this spot. I got her at 250. Yeah, it's a little steep, but it is what it is. That's why I risked 20 units. But anyways, guys, let's move on here. I got Loma by decision because I do think Loma is going to just put on a clinic for 3 rounds. But yeah, this one should be fun. Moving on. We got Jack Jenkins versus Don Shainis. Mr. Shainis, man. He's definitely a problem that first round with his grappling. I feel like he can be a problem. But I feel like when he's fighting a guy like Jack Jenkins, who, in my opinion, has a really well-rounded game, I feel like you're in a lot of problems here. The thing about Jack Jenkins I freaking love is his leg kicks. He has nasty leg kicks, has broken people's legs with leg kicks. I do think his boxing is also pretty crisp. I think he's like someone I'm a fan of. He's like to call him a Walmart version of Maddalena. I think he's a little bit more than that. I like Jack Jenkins a lot. I think he is very cerebral, a very good grappler, and I do think he works really hard. I think he's gonna out hustle Shainis, and I think he's gonna beat him in the second round. A nice finish in the second round. Um, I love Jenkins in this spot. He's absolutely vicious, and I think Shainis is gonna look for a way out after the beating that Jenkins is gonna put on him. Um, but yeah, this is a fight I don't want to overthink because I really, really am confident in Jenkins, and I do not think the coaches of Don Shainis are very confident in him when 2 of his wins are against Jay Ellis. So, and a lot of his wins aren't against, the greatest guys. That win against Chris Lencioni, that was impressive. But other than that, everything else has been, not the greatest. But I do think if he has a chance, it's in the first round. Yeah, moving on. We have Jamie Mullarkey versus Francisco Prado. Now, I was watching Mr. Prado. He is decent on the feet. I'm not going to say, but people are trashing him saying he's sloppy. I do think he is a bit sloppy. Do I think he can get caught easily? Yes. Do I think he's going to get boxed up? And do I think he's going to get drowned and beat up later? Yes. But I do think he's dangerous in round one. I think Francisco Prado is going to put you into a really uncomfortable place in that round one. Where, I mean, Jamie Markey's used to it, but with the power Prado has, if you're betting Prado, I'd say round one or by TKO is your best shot. It's like plus, or like TKO KO, plus 700. I think it's a good spot if you're betting him. But yeah, I'm on Mullarkey here. I just think he's obviously faced better competition. He is looking amazing as of late. Other than that, last fight with Johnson wasn't the greatest, and Turner. Um, I do think I rate him a lot. I think he's vicious. I think he is trains at a great gym, and I do think he's going to win this fight against Prado by either unanimous decision or later finish. I do think he's going to be too much for Prado, but again, who knows? This could be a wild fight. At the end of the day, it's a fight. Anything can happen. Moving on, we have Clayton Rodrigues versus Shannon Ross. Clayton Rodrigues. Man, at the start of this fight, when this fight got announced, I was starting to think maybe Shannon Ross can win in his home country, or I'm pretty stupid. Is it a country? Australia? I'm pretty sure, yeah. But yeah, Ross, man, he's an absolute savage. I do think he likes to fight. He likes to, make it ugly. But the thing about Rodriguez, he just fought someone with that same style, but even better, and he still deserved to win that fight, and he got robbed. But it is what it is, Rodriguez is still a savage, and I do think he's gonna grow from that fight. Do I worry about him pulling guard and stuff like that with a guy like Shannon Ross who might be able to fight smart? Yeah. But I think Clayton's gonna, I think he's gonna have a performance kind of like his on the Contender Series, where he just really showed his size. He has this size against his opponents that is just so apparent, and some people just can't deal with it. I do think Shannon Ross is one of those guys. I think he's going to get finished, to be honest, from Clayton. I think Clayton's going to catch him either early or late. It really depends what kind of Shannon Ross shows up on that night, being it's in his home country. I do think it's a little later, maybe round three, um, or late round two. But yeah, this is going to be a fun fight while it lasts. I do think Clayton wins though, quite convincingly. Um, yeah, I'm not confident, but I'm decently confident, if that makes sense. Moving on, we have Melsik Baghdasaryan versus Joshua Culibao. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Joshua Culibao has really good boxing, good eyes. He's only 10-1-1. He's faced killers. He's in his home country. Good cardio, fight IQ. The thing about Josh, I would have to say, is there is that chance that he could be chinned. There is that chance that, he gets outpointed. But see, I've been trying to make my this is actually where I'm finally gonna make a decision on this fight. I'm going to have to go with Joshua Culibao just based on the fact that he has better fight IQ and he's better boxing, puts on a better pace, better cardio, better grappling. I just like him better in this spot. I just think Melsik he's a little overrated, and I think he gets, he's dangerous, of course, but I think his best round is round one. I think he fades, and I think he loses a 29-28 decision to Culibao here. I really like Culibao, and I do think that this is a good spot for him, facing another 7-1 or a guy with one defeat. But yeah, I do think Joshua Culibao has a nice strong round 2-3 and wins the nice 29-28. Or maybe he wins round one and loses the second round. I just think he wins this decision. I do think Joshua Culibao is gonna have that country advantage, and I think he's gonna win this by unanimous decision on the judges' scorecards. Um, but yeah, guys, these have been some bangers so far. Let's get into, I think, the main. It's all prelim. Thought we are getting to the main card. Yeah, we have Tyson Pedro versus Modestus Bukaukas. Okay, so yeah, this is when it gets a little more interesting. We have Bukaukas here, who he's good. He does everything pretty well, other than like off his back, he's not really great. By not great, I mean terrible, I'd say. But that not a lot of big guys are great off their backs, so if any. I do like Modestus Bukaukas here. Not, I'm just joking. I like Tyson Pedro. but I think Modestas Bukaukas has his confidence about him now, where he could make it an ugly point fighting match and somehow win a decision. But I just don't see that happening. I see Tyson Pedro either stopping him or winning a nice decision. I think he has the jiu-jitsu advantage, grappling advantage, the mental advantage, the striking advantage. The thing about Modestas is he's quicker, I find, or at least if not quicker, he's more agile. He loses his footwork better. I just don't know how he's going to implement it against a guy so long and dangerous and so well-rounded like Tyson Pedro. Other than his wrestling, I don't think he's known for his wrestling, but he has really, really good jiu-jitsu, and I think he could be putting either KO Modestas Bukauskas, um, or even get a sub, one of the two. But yeah, I like Tyson Pedro in the distance here. I don't, I mean, it could go to a decision as well, but it's just lower chances with the bigger guys. Um, but yeah, I like Tyson Pedro a lot, man. Really opened my eyes to watch that documentary about him and his dad. I do think he has a tougher mind than a lot of people, realize. Him breaking his, what was it? He broke something and he kept fighting, or he tore his knee and he kept fighting. Guy's really tough mentally, and I love him and his dad relationship. I feel like Modestas has a lot of yes man in his corner, and he's fighting, you know, not the greatest guys in Cage Warriors, and you think he's going to come back to the UFC and show any improvements? Well, we haven't really got to see him yet, so I don't think Tyson Pedro is going to be the guy to really show them. So I feel like Tyson Pedro has this in the bag, in the distance, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about this fight. Moving on, we have Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. Another fight I was really back and forth on throughout the week. I feel both guys are really good in their own way, except I feel like Jimmy Crute has more tools. As much as it pains me to say this, I do think Jimmy Crute wins this fight. And why it pains me to say this is because his last two performances, he looked absolutely terrible. If he can show that he is the old him, then I'm gonna still ride with Jimmy. Because Jimmy was a savage, a monster at one point. He still is a savage, but the difference between Jimmy then and the Jimmy now is focus, and I don't know if Jimmy has that same focus. We'll find out though on Saturday. I really want Jimmy to win. He can win in any way he wants, and it really just depends on what Jimmy shows up. If the right Jimmy shows up, he can finish Menifield however he wants. He can win a decision. He can, get the inside the distance win anytime he wants. He has the submissions, he has the striking. Manyfield is very, very overrated. He is decent and very serviceable. I got this word serviceable from, again, this podcast that I really, really love. Shout out to Santino and Brandon. Best freaking duo on the planet right now when it comes to combat sports. Um, or just more MMA, maybe. I don't know if Tino covers anything else, but I know Brandon does. Anyways, um, yeah, what a great, great card, man. Such a great card so far. I do think Jimmy Crute wins this. Alonzo Menifield is, again, dangerous. He could just TKO Jimmy Crute and make me look stupid here, but I really have faith in Crute. It's his home country as well. And I feel like he's got this, man. And he's the only reason why he loses this fight. It's all mental for him, and we'll see who he shows up because Alonzo Menifield's riding him with confidence. So moving on, we have Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. Another fight that is a really not a fight you should be throwing a lot of money on. We have Justin Tafa, who all power, all brute strength, and hips and kicks. And I do think he can finish Parker Porter, and I do think he's going to win a decision. But I also think he can finish. Like, it's really weird. It's weird, man, because Parker Porter, if he comes game, he can win. Justin Toff is winning a decision. But if he doesn't, he's going to get finished. So it all depends what Parker Porter shows up. If I have to guess, I'm going to guess Justin Toff finishes Parker Porter in the first round. But I don't know what Parker Porter shows up. So I'm just going to guess on the Parker Porter that showed up against Jalton Almeida. And the pressure did seem to get to him. And I do think Justin Tafa is going to be either stress free or riding the momentum. And I do think he finishes Parker Porter relatively early. Leg kicks or just the power difference. It's absolutely crazy. Could I see Parker Porter drowning him? Yeah, but I just don't think Parker Porter has a lot of confidence in himself. Um, I don't think thinks he's going to be a champion. I think he just likes to fight and is happy to be in the UFC. 13-7 kind of shows that record. He's in the UFC for a good reason. He's decent and very very serviceable. He'll fight anyone, but he's not going to beat most guys, and he's not really great anywhere. So I got Justin Tafa here. Guy can hit like a truck, and I do think Parker Porter will fold to those leg kicks. If not the leg kicks, I do think Parker Porter has pretty meaty legs. If not the leg kicks, it's going to be the power just of him in general with a head kick or something. I love Justin Tafa. It's power. It's absolutely terrifying. But yeah, let's go Justin Tafa, round one, TKO. Moving on, we have Randy Rude Boy Brown versus my guy, Jack Della Maddalena. Now, anyone who gives Rude Boy a shot in this fight, I'm not gonna call you out and say, "Oh, you're dumb, you're this, you're that." You have a point because Jack doesn't kick, and that does worry me. And if I have to give one of them a grappling advantage, it could be actually either even or Randy has a slight grappling advantage. But the thing about this fight is Randy breaks mentally. Jack doesn't break mentally. Jack has ridiculous boxing and fight IQ, whereas Randy's good and slick, but he does make a lot of mistakes fight IQ wise that will Jack will make you pay. And if you think for a second Jack's gonna sit at the end of his kicks the whole fight, you're mistaken. Do I think there's a threat of a like there's lots of threats coming from Randy Brown. He is very, very talented. But I love Randy Brown for his own skill set. But the thing about Randy Brown is like he broke to Vicente Luque, he's lost to Nico Price, he's lost to a lot of guys who are a lot lesser than Jack Delamain, in my opinion, if not just a little bit under. So I do think Jack Delamain wins this in the distance. I think he breaks him either in the second round or the first round. He continues his streak. I think it's going to be a shaky first 2.5 minutes maybe, but I do think he breaks him in that second half of the round. I think Jack Della Maida continues his first round streak, gets him out of there, maybe with a straight KO or just with a TKO. I think Randy Brown's not that great on the back foot, and I do think if guys who are very very wild and not very technical like Chaos Williams can rock him and loop and connect a bunch of times, I think Jack Delamain is going to be able to have quite easily time to be able to get to Randy Brown's head, especially when you're training with guys like Solomon Renfro, who in my opinion isn't that good. Um, I think you're gonna have a good time in this fight. I got Jack Delamain easy. This is probably one of my locks of the card. Um, yeah, don't like. I know people are trying to give Rude Boy a chance, but I just don't give him any chance, man. I will be shocked if Rude Boy wins this fight, like beyond shocked. Like I'll be heartbroken and shocked. So you guys will probably not be. That'll be hard for me because these are the two fights that I want to see the most above it. So I'm gonna have to check into gear if Jack loses somehow because I really want to see these fights coming up. But yeah, Jack Delamena by murder in the first or second round. Yeah. Probably body shots, if not TKO with that nice check hook he throws. But yeah, Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Man, what a fight. Yair is going to win this fight. I just don't like Josh Emmett's style. I think he is very hittable. I think he is not confident in one thing. I think he relies on his power and his knockout power too much. I don't think he has very good great fight IQ yet. Um like his striking is like He has no elbows. His knees, I don't even think he throws knees. His kicks aren't great. I just I just think he's too one-dimensional. And his wrestling, like, could he out grapple Yair or five like out wrestle him? Sure, but he never uses it. So it really depends. Does Josh Emmett finally just say, you know what, this is going to be the performance of my life, and I'm going to show why everyone rates me so high? Or is he going to show up like the last few times where I feel like he's lost in a lot of his fights? He got rocked by Ige, who in my opinion Ige hits the hardest, who like one of the hardest in the division. So I feel like if he can touch, I feel like Yair's gonna be tapping you up all night, and if Yair connects, he can put you out. And I feel like this is a perfect scenario for a TKO for Yair. I love Yair in this spot. The Izzy wrestling style he trains is going to be perfect for that wrestling. You know, Josh Emmett's going to throw. This isn't the old Yair who folds to the pressure. He's always there fighting. Yes, Max Holloway used wrestling to beat him, and I know Josh Emmett's a much better wrestler, better than Holloway. But the thing about Holloway is he uses his wrestling when he needed to. When is Emmett ever going to use his wrestling when he needs to? That's the question. If he uses it, then it's a competitive fight. But I don't think he's going to use it. I think he's going to get into an eagle battle and try to blast the power shots like he likes to do, and he's going to eventually get caught, or he's going to lose the unanimous decision to Yair. Because I think Yair is just really, really on a roll right now. Really talented, looking slick. I really rate Yair highly. I think he wins this fight. Is he a prima donna? Yes. Is he annoying sometimes? Yes. But I like him, man. He is very dangerous. He's talented. Do I think Volks folds him and beats him easily? Yes. But he beats both of them easily, so it doesn't matter who wins. Volk eats them easily. So I got Yair in the distance or by decision. One of the two. But I don't think he's going to sub Emmett. That is it for sure. He is not going to sub Emmett. And I don't think Emmett's gonna. I don't think a sub's happening at all. I like the TKO decision prop a lot in this spot. Yeah. Moving on. We have Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. My fight of the year so far. Um, the fight I've wanted to see the most. I'm so grateful that it's happening early. Don't have to wait till December or November. The best in the world fighting at their in their prime. You just gotta love it. This is hard for me because my brain is telling me Islam Makhachev by first round submission, but my heart is telling me Volk by decision. What are we picking here, guys? Because I love me some Volkanovski. I think he is the greatest MMA fighter on the planet right now. I think he mixes it up the best on the feet. I think he has just got a great cardio, great fight IQ, probably the best fight IQ. He mixes it up the best, man. He's a model exemplar of what people are trying to be in the sport, and everyone is looking at him for like examples for how to craft their style and their game. Their Volk's he's a hero to a lot of people, and he's a lot of people's favorite fighter. And I do think Volkanovski has a good shot of winning this fight, the most out of anyone he's gonna fight in a long time, or I think at all. This is Islam's hardest fight, but this is also Volkanovski's hardest fight. I love Holloway, but the grappling, I love Mendez. I love all of these guys he's fought who are really good grapplers. They are literally not even a tenth, not even 5% of the grappling of Islam. The only one that came close was Ortega, and he still is like 30 to 40% of the grappling of Islam. Islam maybe not have all the BJJ tricks, but man, is he nasty. He has a few tricks that he does very well. and he doesn't need a variety of tricks. Could he throw them up? Yes, but he likely won't. He's going to keep the control and look to smash you, to break your will, and I feel like he's going to do that. My brain keeps telling me first round submission is if Ortega and Mendez can hold him down, if Vulcan or sorry, if Holloway can take him down, I feel like Islam is going to be able to take him down and hold him there. I just don't like Volk's chances in this spot. I do think Islam wins this quite comfortably, but at the same time, I gotta rock with Volk, man. At the end of the day, Volk's one of my favorite fighters. His confidence is next level. He has to have a reason for it. I love the fight starts in the feet. I'm gonna go with Volk, man. This is not like Oliveira where he's fighting a guy who is gonna get dropped and then look to try to take the jiu-jitsu approach. No, he does not. He fights very, very smart, and he is going to be probably the hardest fight Islam's ever gonna have, if not just the hardest fight he's had. And I think Volk, if not, is the closest one to beat Islam, and I'm gonna go with Volk here. Um, by decision. This is a fun card. I love this card. If I could go by most confidence, um, let me recap first. So first we have Tukhugov. I have him by let's go third round TKO. We got Bilder by first round TKO, or no, submission, first round submission. We have Loma by decision. We have Jenkins by second, or let's go second round TKO. We have Mullarkey by, third round TKO. Clayton Rodrigues by second round TKO. We have Culibao by decision. Pedro by second round submission. We have Crute by, I don't know, first round submission. We have Tafa by first round TKO. Della Maddalena by first round TKO. We have Yair Rodrigues either by unanimous decision or first round TKO. And then we have Volkanovski by decision. This is a hard fight card, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. My top five most confident picks, if I could say my number one, would have to be I'd have to go Jack Jenkins number one, Jack Della Maddalena number two, Loma Lookboonmee number three, Clayton Rodrigues number four, and I'd have to say either Tyson Pedro or yeah, Tyson Pedro number five. Um, Tyson Pedro and Zabar Tukhugov number five. Those are my predictions. Those are my picks, most confident picks. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for LFA and PFL. Let's cash our third straight week of PFL, and let's cash another week of LFA. Let's go, guys. Until next time.